the new 2024 Tesla Model 3, codenamed Highland. It's a pretty big refresh to what is still one of Tesla's best-selling cars, with a sleeker front that's more aerodynamic and a more refined back where the lights aren't cut off by the trunk, they open with it. It's not without its flaws, but after living with it for 3 months now, I gotta say, I like it. Once you get into the car, you notice the cabin is really quiet inside. That's because it uses more sound dampening materials and now has double pane glass everywhere. There's ambient lighting all around the car, you can pick any color for it, it looks very nice. Some people were worried about reflections in the glass, and you can't see the lights, but you can sometimes see this silver trim here being reflected. It's not the end of the world though. The seats already had heating, but now the front ones also have cooling. That's gonna come in handy in the summer. And of course, there's the turn signal situation. There just isn't a stock anymore. You now activate the turn signals through buttons in the wheels, and yeah, I don't like it. They're annoying in small roundabouts, they're annoying when I kinda go at an angle and they don't click. You sorta get used to it, but the stocks were just a better solution. They were also far quicker to put into drive or reverse. The rest of the interior is still very bare, there are no physical controls in the middle, no speedometer behind the wheel, and you can't even see the air vents to adjust their position. In their place is this massive 15-inch screen which can control almost everything in the car. At the bottom you have your apps, to the right side you have a nice big map that uses Google Maps data, navigation is a plus with this car, and to the left side you have some car controls which turn into a pretty neat visualization of what the car is seeing when you're driving. It isn't perfect, AI Driver made a cool video showing off its capabilities which I'll link below, but it's a great demo of how smart the car is. It uses multiple cameras around the car to map everything around you, and does a ton of cool stuff based on that. From things that are more standard in other cars like lane departure warnings, blind spot detection and collision warnings, to stuff I'd never seen anywhere else like automatically removing the indicator after you switch lanes. The cameras are also extremely useful to have. You can just press a button on the wheel to bring them up and see everything around you. They're very high quality, I find myself bringing them up often, in tight spaces or just apart. They also start recording if someone touches your car when it's locked. Pretty awesome, and if you have the premium connectivity which costs €10 a month, you get a live feed in the app. The app is another important part of the car. It came with a couple of keycards which you touch on the side pillar to unlock the car, but you can also just use the app. You walk up to the car with your phone in your pocket, you get in, it automatically adjusts the seat position and mirrors based on your settings, and you drive off. When you park, you just walk away and the car will lock itself. That is, as long as the app is running in the background on your phone. This doesn't happen on a Pixel, but I've seen it get killed on Xiaomi phones, even after disabling all battery optimizations. That's not really Tesla's fault though, Google needs to get their house in order. Tesla's app is actually really nice. There are some quick controls at the top, which I just found out you can long press to customize. Did you know that? You can control the climate, plan a trip, and see how much battery you'll have left in the car at the end, control the charging speed and at what time it starts charging, and plenty of other stuff. You can also share locations from Google Maps to the Tesla app, so it shows in the car, which I thought was pretty neat. Actually, driving the car is very enjoyable. The suspension has been refreshed for this model and it's kind of awesome. You can still tell it's a very heavy car because of the battery, which I promise we'll talk about in a second, but it handles extremely well. And of course, it has an incredible acceleration. When you want to reduce speed, the electric motors start generating energy back to the battery. This enables one-pedal driving, where you just use the accelerator for everything. Once you take your foot off the accelerator, the car will come to a complete stop, smoothly. It's quite different from driving a regular car. You have to make smaller adjustments with your foot to control the car, but it's very comfortable once you get used to it. Also much simpler. The brake is still there if you need to stop before the car normally would, but I rarely use it. What I also rarely use are voice controls. They kinda suck, at least in my language. The software overall is really nice, but there are some choices that kinda annoy me and make me wish this had Android Auto and at least some physical controls. Stick with me, it's winter, I can't see jack out the window. I turn on the defroster to defrost the glass using a little shortcut in this scroll wheel, which is actually really nice. Once it's clear, I turn it off, but the car turns the AC on automatically, forcing me to mess with the screen to turn it off. Second example, I'm trying to make a quick call, I search for the name of a friend, I press the contact name and it opens a completely different contact because I left a space at the end. This one is a bug, I know it is, and it'll probably be fixed soon, but that's the beauty of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's an alternative. Tesla's updates have been pretty high quality, always adding cool features like the parking visualization. It's by far the best software I've ever seen from a car maker, and it's also one of the big reasons to get a car like this, as the software will evolve as you own it. But alternatives are always good, if not for now, at least for when the car stops getting updates, which will have to happen at some point. Okay, let's talk about the battery now. This is the long-range model. It brings a really awesome 17-speaker sound system and 2 motors in a faster all-wheel drive configuration. But the biggest difference from the cheaper rear-wheel drive version is the battery. This one is 75 kWh and has a WLTP range of 629 km. This takes a hit during winter time, and if you drive down highways a lot. Didn't really know what to expect before getting this car, never had an electric, but honestly it's been great. For the day-to-day running around town, we just leave it to charge overnight during off-peak hours and it's been fine. Having a car that's always charged ready to go is really nice, no more having to go to the gas station. We've been trying to maintain the battery between 20 and 80% so as to not degrade it as fast. The rear-wheel drive version has a different battery chemistry which lets you charge to 100% more often without affecting the battery's life expectancy. But this one they recommend only charging to 100% when you're going on a big trip, and that's what we've been doing. We only needed to do it once though, and we actually haven't even tried a DC fast charger yet. At first we were charging it on a regular 16A 230V wall outlet. It was slow, it estimated it would take like a day to charge to full. Since then we installed an industrial outlet so it can charge faster at up to 32 amps. That means a full charge in like half a day. That's perfectly fine. The car can still go faster, but my house isn't wired up for 3 phases, so that's the best we can do. Honestly, we could probably do with just a regular power outlet, but if we needed to make a large trip, we would need to stop at a fast charger. The car can charge at up to 250 kilowatts in a compatible charger, but those are around 3 times more expensive than charging at home. Still, unless you're exclusively charging at fast chargers, it'll still be cheaper than a regular combustion car. According to the Tesla app, we have saved more than 300 euros compared to a traditional gas car in these 3 months. Pretty good. A full charge costs us 12 to 16 euros depending on whether it's off-peak hours or not. Actually, the third day we got the car we had a problem with charging. Even before installing that new outlet, when we connected the cable it just didn't charge at all. I set up a service appointment in the Tesla app, but the car was new, so we didn't wait. We went to Tesla the day after, they looked at the car and ended up replacing the cable. Weird that they stopped working 3 days in, but they didn't really make a problem out of it and it's been working well since. Haven't had any other problems with the car really. Nothing wrong with the paint job, no panel gaps I can see. Even the materials, which people usually like to criticize for their quality, aren't bad in my opinion. They're pretty good actually, soft to the touch, no weird noises. There are some other smaller grievances that I'm gonna speedrun now. There's a screen at the back, kids love it. It even has games, but it stops media sounds coming out of the front too. I hope they change that. The system doesn't memorize that you turned off the AC on the passenger side. That's a miss. The car's turning circle is kind of wide and visibility out the rear window is not the best, it's very high up. Also, the automatic wipers suck. They always turn on inside my garage but almost never do when it's actually raining. Supposedly this is a bug and can be fixed, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's it, I really like this car. There are some annoyances which you're gonna have to deal with, but there's also a lot to love which you normally don't find in cars in this price range. This is coming in at 50,000 euros. The rear-wheel drive version starts at 9,000 euros less, at 41,000. That's about on par or slightly better than most of its competitors, and you might still be able to get some benefits from buying an electric, which just sweetens the deal. If you're thinking about buying a car in this price range, the Model 3 Highland might just be what you're looking for.